All right. Hello there, and welcome back to another live stream here on YouTube from measureschool.com. And we are going to talk today about iFrame tracking with GA4 or to GA4 rather. And this will be another episode of our popular, well, it's the second time we do this, popular series of peer tracking. And for that, I need a peer. And therefore, we have the talented Sofiia with us. Hi, Sofiia.
Hey there. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm happy to be here with you, Julian, because you're like Jedi and I'm your Padawan. So we're going to implement something exciting together. And
Right.
actually, we've been getting many questions about iframe tracking because I know that this is definitely a challenge for many marketers and many people are struggling with it and also contacting us asking for help. So I thought it's just, you love challenges. So
Yeah.
you love rising up to challenges more than everyone here. So I decided to prepare
Yeah,
this
and
video.
let's talk about peer tracking. So, if you haven't joined that last time when we were doing form tracking, actually we're taking another step forward now with iFrame tracking. But peer tracking is kind of the equivalent to something in program that you call peer programming, and that's where when two people come together, two developers come together, and they have a challenge to program something together, and the concept is that there is one person who is the navigator and one person who's the driver. And so the navigator kind of comes up with the plan and says where it goes, left or right, let's click on this, let's click on that. And then or program that actually for developers. And then the driver, which will be Sofiia today, will actually go through the implementation and click everything together. And if she has questions, she can ask me, or she can also challenge what I'm saying and ask me questions. So hopefully this will be a great learning experience for everyone. And this is kind of a little bit slower than our tutorials itself, but it makes for a good real life scenario. So, Sofiia, let's maybe share your screen and then we can take a look at the case that we have in front of us today.
Sure. So here you have the website, and you can see this beautiful pink thing inside. I also made sure that my tag manager is implemented here, and I also have GA4. But the problem is, I need to track this form submission, and I don't know how. So I need your help here. So this is my tag manager, and if I check the tag assistant, you can see this is my GA4. My tag manager is here, and here is my GA4 account, my property, my tag manager account, and that's it. So,
Sofiia, if you could click on the hide button down below where it
oh,
says,
sorry. Yeah,
right, okay. So iframes, let's talk about iframes really quickly. Iframes are a technology, it's basically an HTML tag that you can put into your website. And what you can do with an iframe is to display a different website, a completely different website on your own website as a frame, as a like a window frame kind of, right? But what you need to keep in mind, this website is actually not your website. It's somewhere completely different. And therefore, it's often times hard. It's very easily confused with like, oh, this is part of my website, but I can't really track it because you're looking on a completely different website. From a tracking perspective, and from JavaScript and from a website perspective, anything that is inside of the iframe is not something that Google Tag Manager or any of Google Analytics can actually see. So that's quite interesting or that's a prerequisite that you should know about. The other thing, maybe go back to the screen. There we can see that, I mean, our iframe here is in a different color, right? But usually it's completely like embedded on the website itself, and sometimes people cannot really distinguish their normal website from the iframe itself. Maybe one sentence about why do people use iframes, especially when it comes to third-party services. So if you embed, for example, a YouTube video, that's an iframe. If you embed a form from another vendor, that's an iframe oftentimes. If you do a ticketing platform, that's oftentimes an iframe, because the the vendor that you implement doesn't want to deal with your website. They don't want to have access to your website. They just tell you, hey, implement this little iframe thing and it will be displayed on your website. So they don't have to do any coding on your end. They actually just provide the iframe to the end user. And that's quite often the case with shopping carts or with different ways. My first intuition, actually, Sophia, is if you can avoid it, don't use iframes, right? If you can just put it onto your website yourself. If it's just a form, then I mean, this is an HTML form. You could probably sit down and code it yourself, or get a plugin or something to put it on your website. You don't have to always use iframes. Sometimes it's more tricky when you have a ticketing software, for example. Obviously, coding a ticketing software would take you a lot of time, and you need to use the iframe. Then I always ask your vendor whether they have some kind of tricks for tracking. Hey, I want to track this or that for a certain case, right? Now, for example, for this, well, let's actually find out if this is an iframe, right? So what we can do, the first trick is to find out if this is an iframe, is to right-click on the iframe itself, and then we would see view
Frame source.
view iframe source, and that iframe source kind of already gives it away because it says iframe, right? If you click anywhere other on the site, then it would not say a view frame source, right? So that is already out of the picture. So this is clearly an iframe. If you right click again on the iframe itself and then go to inspect, then this will open up your developer tools there. If you can make it a little bit bigger, maybe just on the scroll bar, you can just drag and drop it where the scroll bar is on the left side.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Just make it a little bit bigger. So here's where we can see the HTML that was rendered by the browser. And if we look up a little bit, there we see it already says iframe. If you go a little bit further up,
Right
I think
here,
there's where it says iframe. So this is an iframe, and this is a completely different website. Now we can look at the source URL there, and we see this is actually not on our own server. It's a completely different website, which is iframe.measureschool.repl.co, which is a website that we have created for the purpose of showing you this today, right? So this is how you can find out if you actually have an iframe in front of you. And when you install any kind of click trigger or something, and then you click on that button and nothing happens in your tag manager, then you should check whether this is actually an iframe. And anything that's happened in the iframe stays in iframe, first of all, and you cannot track it with Google Tag Manager itself. It's not part of your website. That's what people oftentimes confuse. Okay, if you could exit this one, just go and X on top there. Right, okay. So we have this now set up. Now let's think through some scenarios here. If we wanted to track the link click there, there's a track me button, if you see that one.
Yep, this one right here.
Right. If you click that one, nothing happens. If you wanted to track it, you would need to have iframe tracking installed. If you fill out the form and there's already something filled out, if you click submit.
Oops.
Oh, okay. Now we already have a little error there. That's always great. Hopefully it will not crash our website. But usually it would go over to a thank you page. And actually what I would do in this case is maybe you don't even have to install iframe tracking because it's a little bit more complicated. Maybe you just track the thank you page in the end, right? So if it goes over to the thank you page itself, then we are already golden and we don't have to do any kind of iframe tracking. All right. Now, the next thing to explain is that iframe tracking, anything that happens in iframe is on a different kind of website itself. You will need to have access to the iframe itself. You will need to be able to edit the code itself or inject any kind of scripts into it, right? So if you have a third-party vendor and they don't allow you to install Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics 4, you're out of luck because you are not able to alter the code inside of the iframe itself. So make sure you have access to the iframe. So Sophia, we have access to the iframe because we coded it ourselves. So here is this REPL site. REPL is a really cool service. So if you want to check that out, you can like build websites, and they're also live then on the web, and you can utilize them. So this is a really great thing to learn coding as well and spin up little machines. So anyways, check out REPL. And we can install Google Tag Manager here. So for that, the first step actually is that we need I would recommend two separate accounts for containers for Google Tag Manager. So let's go ahead. So you have already here a Tag Manager account with a parent frame. So this is the container for parent frame. Let's create a separate one. Right, and we have that somewhere there.
Sorry, and why do we need the second one? Why cannot we keep everything under?
You could keep everything in there, but for example, and I always go ahead and try to keep it separate, because if you have Google Analytics 4 in there, it could trigger 2 page views because it loads one time on the website and then also on the parent frame and then also in the iFrame. So you could double your page views through it, and that's always like you would need to build with negative triggers in order to avoid this. All right, so you have created here an iFrame container, and you just clicked away from it, but if you click on the little on there again, this is something we need to now implement into the iFrame. So copy the first code.
Okay.
Then we go over to our iFrame where we can edit it, and this is what we want to have in the head section of the website.
Yeah. I'll paste it here.
Right, and we have the second code as well. I don't know.
Should we edit here too, or can
we don't really have to, but let's just do it for completion's sake. So always have 2 codes on your website, and the other one should be underneath the opening body tag. So
here we go.
Right, no. You can put it there. You could also put it on after the opening body tag is number 18, line 18. Yeah.
Why do we need this one?
This one is for browsers that have JavaScript disabled, but it doesn't really happen that often. And if JavaScript is disabled, a lot of other functions are also disabled. So it's a fallback. It's a fallback in the end. All right, so now we have this installed, and let's try it out by actually, let's open up the iFrame, the actual URL of the iFrame. So
I can go this way. Just copy here.
Right, just copy it and open that one up.
And we can go this way.
So this is a completely different website, and it's on a different server. So we have now Google Tag Manager installed. Maybe also try to go into the preview mode just so we have that ready as well.
So let's click preview. I haven't published that yet, by the way, so that you know.
The URL.
Publish it, but anyways, let's create this one. Let's click connect, and here we go.
All right, so we are connected, and nothing fires, obviously, because we don't have any kind of tags installed. So now what we can do is proceed to build our trigger. So how do we track certain interactions? We have on our website a button click, and then also a form submit. Well, let's go with the button click first.
Okay.
How would you track this?
So I would have to click on it, right? I would have to click track me, but I don't see anything here. So maybe I would have to go back to my tag manager, and I would have to activate my variables, right? Because I need to see those. And I would go to configure, and I would find my click-based variables, and maybe form as well, right? Maybe we'll track the form.
Yeah, maybe there's something there too. Yeah.
Okay. And now to be able to see that, maybe I should create some kind of test trigger with all clicks. Right?
Right. Yes. You would triggers always are 2 parts. One is a listener part to listen for all the clicks, and then later you actually do the filtering part where you only want to look at one click on the website. So what you would do is create a generic click trigger. That's what we always call it.
And should I go for all elements or just links?
I always go with all elements just because
Mm-hmm.
it's the most versatile. Just links
Click
is really just for links if you really want it. Yeah.
triggers. Just for now, we'll
Yep.
renew. And let's click save. And we can click preview again. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so now I can see Tech Assistant connected, and I will click again, track me.
It's
And voila, here we go. So number 6, we can see click, and we can check the variables here. This is the second tab.
right.
And we could use, because we activated those variables, so we can have a look here, and we can say, okay, in this case, click ID, we have nothing, click class, nothing, click text.
Yes.
Looks good.
I would think also. Let's take the click text. And now we are turning our generic click trigger into a specific one by actually putting in a filter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back into the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will go with some clicks
Mm-hmm.
because we want to use click the conditions now. And here we choose the click text.
Click text, and I copied it already without
Okay,
quotation marks.
and
Just
then you can choose rename the trigger
mm-hmm.
into, I don't know, button click or something. Click and then button click. Yeah.
Click or track me click,
Yeah.
button click. So more specific than that. Track me. Put
Right.
a hyphen here. So it looks better.
Yes.
And we
And
can
then let's save this. So now we have a trigger, and now we want to send this to Google Analytics 4. The thing is that we don't have any config tag inside of Tag Manager here. And you also need to remember that this is not the website that we want to send this from, right? We don't want to send data from our iFrame to Google Analytics 4. We actually want to send data from our parent frame, so from our main website where we have the iFrame embedded, to Google Analytics 4. So we need a way to transfer the data from the iFrame to the parent frame. And there is something in the browser called Post Message API. If you could Google this really quickly,
okay.
Post Message API, there's a MDM article.
Okay.
Just put in Post Message API.
Okay.
And if you scroll, developer.mozilla, let's click on that one. So if you want to find more out about this API, this is how the iframes, so different websites, if they're embedded to each other, can communicate with each other, right? So this is a really great way to learn more about this post message API, and if you want to learn more about this. So, but what we will do is implement this right now in Google Tag Manager in order to send data over to our parent frame. And we have a little code already prepared for you. So everything is described in our blog post as well. So if you want to check that out, go to measureschool.com/iframe tracking, and all of the steps are there explained as well. So we have the codes already copied out there, and if you could go to the first one. So this consists always of two codes. One code is to send the data over, and the other code is to listen to the data. Now we want to send data over first. So the first one is down here, the script,
This one,
which we are
right?
going to copy. Yeah.
The sender. Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to go into Google Tag Manager, into our iFrame Google Tag Manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go into tags, and then create a custom HTML tag.
Okay, so I will look for custom HTML. And should I paste it here,
Yeah.
right?
Paste it in there. So we have script tags already surrounding this, so this is all fine. What we have here, what we would need to change around is the little part in the middle. So first of all, we need to give it an event, and this is there's an iframe form submit, which is obviously for us it's a click. You could also call it something generic like iframe event or so. So you always know, okay, there's an iframe event that actually happened. So maybe you change that around, and you need to keep the quotation marks intact, right? So yeah.
And should it be like with the snake case or the camel case?
I usually take the camel case because it's like JavaScript, but if you want to forward it onto Google Tag Manager to GA4, then maybe you take Snake Case. I mean, it's really up to preference.
Okay, I just left it that way.
Okay, iframe tracking, and then we have underneath we have the form, and that we can change around however we want. So in our case, it would maybe be the button that was clicked or the text that was clicked. So you could put in instead of form, you could put in text, for example.
Text. Okay.
And you can actually then also instead of contact us, you can change that around and put in a variable which is click text, right? So the two parentheses.
Have the German keyboard.
But you need to do the true. You have you need to do the two quotation marks still. So don't forget
okay.
those.
This will take
and now the
I'm sorry for
the curly ones I also don't know. I don't have a German keyboard, so
like I have to find those. Oh, hello.
Otherwise you can we copy them somewhere?
This
oh
is
yeah, you can copy them just underneath the line number 6.
Oh, yes.
And there's an opening one and line number 3 as well. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, thank you. You're super attentive.
And then you need to put in click text. Normally it should pop up automatically.
Show up. Then no, it doesn't show up here.
I don't know why.
Maybe we should not use the quotation mark, or
try it again. Get rid of the 2 in the back, and just start and then start typing after the. No. Get you need to get 2 quotation marks first, and then you need to start typing. Okay. I think then it works.
Let me just. Sorry, I'm just.
Not quotation marks, 2 curly brackets, and then you start typing.
Okay, I'm still getting used to the keyboard, and it does not. Oh. Maybe I have.
And now try click. No, it doesn't do it.
No.
Weird. Usually it does it.
Let me find it.
Anyways, let's go quick and just do 2 quotation marks and say track me. That's the text that would be entered.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it will work or not. Track me. Okay. This will be the text that will be transferred. And then on the 7th line, we need to change the URL. And that's important because we need to tell the script where should this data be sent to. And this should need to be our domain that we actually send the data to, right? So maybe head back to the demo store and copy the URL on the top.
Okay.
Right. And then you replace that with the domain.com there. And you can get rid of the iframe in the back. So it's just a domain.
Delete it.
All right. Then we add a trigger, obviously. So underneath there, our trigger is the click me trigger. And then on the top, we change the name to, well, this is custom HTML. So CHTML, I always call it, just so we know what it is. And then this one is a post message sender. So we are sending data.
Sender.
Right. Yeah. And then I would do a hyphen again and put in track me button also, or track me click.
I'm so happy because I can see that some of my ex-colleagues are watching our
okay.
And right. Andrei Harbanel. Yeah, we were working together.
Okay.
Track me button.
Good. Now, yeah. All right. So let's save this, and then we can try it out. So go into preview, and then it will just open up the iframe, so we cannot see anything in the parent frame yet, but that will kind of do it. Yeah.
Here.
Well, yeah. You click on the track me button, and then see if it actually sends it off. Okay. So this should kind of work. So hopefully this is sent off, and we would need to publish this one right now because there's no way in the parent frame to go into the preview and debug mode on the other end. So let's submit this as a version, and
iFrame just providing some
Yeah.
iFrame tracking.
So it's a good idea to give it a name so you know kind of what you implemented, and then publish it. All right, so this is the first part of the iframe tracking. The interaction is now tracked and is sent over to the parent frame, hopefully. Now we need to pick up the interaction on the parent frame and send it on to Google Analytics 4. So let's go into the parent frame Google Tag Manager.
I'll open it maybe in separate tab.
Right.
We have many containers here, right?
Yeah.
This is the one, the correct one, the parent frame.
Okay, and here we need to implement a post-message listener, that would listen to the interaction. So we go to tags again and create a new custom HTML tag.
Okay.
And then we have the second code that we have there in our, right, this is the
listener one, right?
Right, the listener one. Copy that.
Okay.
And then we'll implement this into our Google Tag Manager right here. All right, the trigger for this, you can create a new trigger. So this you don't really have to change because it just listens. You need to create a new trigger. You could do this on all websites, but I would just do it on the iFrame page, right? So maybe create a new trigger for a page view.
Page view and some page view.
Yeah, where the URL is iFrame is in the title. Yeah, in the URL.
A page URL contains iFrame, right?
Right.
And
this is just a page view, so PV. I always do PV and then hyphen iFrame. It's kind of the. All right.
Leave this one.
All right, and then we can name the tag. So this is also a custom HTML, and it's a post message receiver or listener.
Oops, I spelled listener.
Listener, yeah. Also. And for iframes, you could put iframe there as well.
The iframe.
Okay. So now we can save this and try it out.
Okay.
We can go to preview.
Okay, here we go. I will copy this URL, right?
Right.
Let's see what happens.
All right, and now if we nothing happens, but if you click on track me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
And then go back to the tag assistant. So here we should have an iframe event, and if you look at the API call up there, you're right, you get automatically a data layer push, which is an event iframe and then the post message data, which was event iframe event and then text track me. That's the information that we have kind of gathered from our interaction, and we send it over to our parent frame now.
Oh, so cool.
So now we have that information in the data layer, and how do we now build a trigger based on that? How do we pull out the right information from the data layer, and how do we then forward it onto Google Tag Manager? What would you say?
So this is kind of custom event here. We can view it this way, right? So maybe I would use the custom event trigger.
Correct, yeah.
So I would copy this one right here, the name.
Yeah.
And then I would go back to my parent frame this time, right? This one. And I would have to create a custom event.
Well, you need to first create a trigger.
Okay.
So to pick that up. So let's create a trigger first. And here you would choose a custom event.
Custom event.
And there you would put in your iframe event. Yeah, all custom events, that's fine. And then we could say click. Oh, iframe. No, this is custom. So you would put in custom hyphen iframe event.
So maybe we should have stick to snake case in this situation, right? If we're sending this to GA4, what do you think?
If well, we can always rename it. It's always fine as such as well. We could also make it more specific and say, hey, I only want to track clicks with this or so. But I think this is okay. So I would call this actually iFrame event as a name, so we know. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I would save this, and then we can proceed, and we would need to pull data out of the data layer. So if you look into the preview mode again,
Yep. Here we go.
you see here it's post message, and then what if we wanted to get the click text, for example, right? What would we do? Because this is inside of a object, we see the curly brackets, we
Yep.
need to build a special data layer variable.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do this?
Yeah, so we would have to access post message data, right?
Yeah.
And specifically, what you wanted to have text, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so we would have post message data dot text.
Right. Let's set that up.
In the parent frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go to variables. And here we go to user defined variables. I would have to create a new one, variable configuration, and I will look for my data layer variable because we are working with a data layer.
Mm-hmm.
And I copy post message data. And we are using dot notation because we are working with an object here. So we want to, so this is our key and we have a value, right? And we want to access the text.
Right.
Dot text. And it's ready. So how should I name
Let's
it?
name it DLV. That's what for data layer variable.
DLV. Mm-hmm.
And then hyphen, this is the click text or iframe click text or so.
iFrame click text. Okay.
Okay, and let's save that. And we can actually try it out if the variable also works. So let's go into preview, see if the variable fills correctly.
Oops.
Doesn't do it.
Oh, yeah, it's just a bit laggy, but it
Yeah. Okay.
hello. I will maybe have to. Let me just close those. So I'll try again. Copy this here and we'll click preview. I'll paste my URL, click connect, and here we go. It should be connected.
Okay, and now we click on track me.
Track me. Mm-hmm.
And then in the preview mode, we should see in our variables that your new variable that you just created has been filled correctly. Is that the case?
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right.
Here.
All right. Great. So now we have all the data available, and this is something we want to send over to Google Analytics 4. So from here, it's straightforward. We would create a Google Analytics 4 tag, event tag, that would send that data over.
So I do have my configuration tag. So I implemented my GA4 via tag manager. It's right here. And now I should add the event tag, right?
Right. Let's do that.
Here I can select my configuration tag, the one that I created before. And what event name should
Event
I choose?
name could be anything. I mean, the usual way would be to go to the recommended events, figure out if there's a recommended event that would correspond to anything that's happening in iFrame. I don't think there is, so let's just call this iFrame underscore click or so.
Oops. iFrame underscore click or track me a button.
Well, just let's just use it click, and then we want to send over the text as well, so we can add a parameter to this.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and call this click underscore text.
Click underscore text. Mm-hmm.
And then we put in the value of our little variable.
Okay.
Right. Now, what do we have to do? We add our trigger that we have created for our custom event.
Okay, here we go.
And on the top, we are going to put in GA4, event. And this is iFrame click.
iFrame click. It's good to have proper naming convention, right? So that we have everything needed.
Especially when your container gets bigger. All right, let's save this all and preview it as well.
Let's click preview.
Do you have Google Analytics open?
Yeah, I did have it.
If you could.
Wait, I will close it again because for some reason, just give me a second. I will copy quickly this one, click preview. here we go. I provide my URL, and there is my Google Analytics. Close this one. Oh,
Yeah, is that Google Analytics?
it's loading. It's just, sorry, it just takes some time to load. I don't know why. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay, and this is my analytics. So I can
So
go
let's go into the debug view.
debug view.
And
What? Configure setting has moved to admin.
oh
Okay.
wow, that's just a
Oh,
new thing that
ooh.
okay, let's go to
Okay.
admin. Where does
I'm
it take us?
I'm really confused because I was doing this yesterday and I did not see it. I guess
And
we're
where is the debug view now? Is it
uh
under events? There's a new events thing.
events. Let's see. No, it's
No?
debug view. So it's just okay. So they made it this way that you can access it immediately. But it's great to see how they're changing the tool
Oh god.
unexpectedly, and you're like
Unexpectedly.
live
Okay.
stream doing live stream.
Newsflash. Yeah,
Yeah.
newsflash. Okay, let's go into debug view.
Oh, and it looks. Oh, you see, it's
Okay.
directly like in the interface.
Then let's go ahead and click on our track me link.
Oh, there it is. No.
Ah, REPL
Oh no!
unavailable. Maybe too many people went to the website.
Oh no!
Go to back to REPL and see if you
Okay,
can reload it. I will try to do that on my end as well.
where is it? Oh, it seems to be working. Oh, but I
Yeah, it's
definitely
connected.
implemented it. Should I click run or will it just break it, or because I'm sure it was executed the code and now it shows me this.
Yeah, but yeah, click on run. Something with REPL. Replit is not working.
Oh,
Maybe we don't have any connections. Okay. So, yeah, our RAM. Too many people are on. We are on the limit. All right. Now, I need to pay $5 to buy cycles because I think people have looked at the website too much while we were on the live stream. So next time we should have prepared for this. Let me just pay my $5 and hopefully we'll be on our way.
but it's great to see that people are curious, that they really want to know how this works and how to implement iPhone tracking.
Yeah.
Oh, it
But at the
is
same time, don't go to our websites, our demo websites.
directly because we cannot do it till the very end. Oh, I can see the comment from Marley. She was actually our bootcamp, so really
Ah,
happy
okay.
to see you here, Marley. And she wrote that Josh, so Josh was also at our bootcamp. He posted this this morning, and this happened yesterday afternoon. Yeah, great to see that the tool is still kind of under heavy development, and you get some such surprises when you're live. But life is all about surprises in general, right?
Why doesn't it? Let me send it to my phone. I need to get a credit card verification, so that is always fun. Ah, here we go. So let me put in the code.
Where was it? I lost. Oh, no, not this one.
Okay, so this is all live, so we are not okay, so we have the new cycles up and let's see if I can run it again. Where are my REPLs? iFrame.
Can I refresh? Will it not break?
Yeah, should again work.
Oh,
No, it doesn't. Why doesn't it work?
very weird.
Or maybe I need to upgrade this somehow.
I clicked reload. I'm so, like, if it got broken, I'm sorry, but
This is weird.
you can see it right here. Right, all good.
Yeah, do you see on the
Oh
interface?
no! Look, Julian.
That's also crashed. Okay, if you go back to this should resolve itself in a second. But if you go back to REPL, then
to Repel. Just give me a second. I have so many. Oh, here we go. Yep.
Yeah, on the bottom there, you see that the RAM has
Oh, yeah.
exceeded the RAM capacity. So let me see if I can. Do I need
Oh,
to individually
it,
power
it,
this one up?
I didn't expect, like, also that people would use it.
This is interesting. Okay, now it no, this one is still not working. Our resources are just limited. Get off my websites, guys.
This is so mean.
No,
Everyone
I
wants
don't know
to learn about iFrame.
what's causing this, but maybe somebody is just also playing a joke and has sent a bunch of traffic there. So okay, well, this didn't work, and although I just upgraded the whole instance,
I refreshed it. It doesn't have.
it doesn't let me actually do it. So
Oh, that's so weird because oh, it says at limit. Yeah, you can, everyone can see that, right?
maybe I can. Hold on, I will figure it out in a second.
Like we're almost there. We
Yeah,
already
we were almost there.
have the
That's what I
event.
think as
It's just like
well.
the most exciting part left, just to test things out to see if it is working. But it should be working, so you should already know the whole implementation process. Just because of this unexpected technical issue, we did not manage to verify the implementation. Although
Yeah,
it's
unfortunately.
the most crucial step of any implementation. This is just to troubleshoot and to make sure that your tracking is working.
How do I actually upgrade this one? I think I have the credits now, but I don't know how I can upgrade the the actual thing.
Great.
So that's crazy. Actually, I could edit this one. Okay, let's go. And try something else if you can't make this one work.
Okay.
If you can't make this one work. Ah, okay, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, you can see, guys, that this is not staged. So this is absolutely purely live. I'm super confused. I'm trying
Okay, let's try it again. Now go back uh to REPL and reload.
reload. Okay. Mm,
And it's I think it's upgrading right now. That's why it's saying loading environment.
okay.
And
What
I
have
could
you
click
done?
on run.
Run.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't.
Oh, it looks. I can see that RAM. It's okay. It's
Yeah, now the
good.
RAM should be okay.
It's way more. And let me go back to. Oh, it's working. You're a magician, Julian. Like, I
No,
would.
is it working? No,
Wait,
the iframe is not yet
oh
working.
no, it's not yet working. Yes, but the oh, okay, it's not working.
It's not yet working. Oh God.
Hmm. Very. Hello. Dear Reply, please stop working because you make me very sad.
Okay, fun times. What I'm gonna do right now, Sophia, is to send you maybe a new URL. I'm just going to replicate the thing and
Okay.
see if we can maybe get it to work this way. So this will be, let's see, it's gonna be iFrame 2. And hold on, it's still working. Fun times implementation. But what you can see here and learn here, I think, is that the implementation don't always go as planned, and you need to adjust and be quick and know what you're doing. That is always the
I'm
number
just
one
happy
thing.
you're here. Yeah, I'm just happy you're here because without you, I would be like freaking out already, maybe crying. But
But it just doesn't do it. Also, when I reload the whole thing, maybe something is wrong with Replit.
maybe.
There might just be something wrong. Okay, guys, I don't think we'll be able to
But
finish this one up unless I will be able to maybe do one more thing. One last attempt here is to take my page and make it private.
oh,
But then, if I make it private, I don't know if you will still be able to see the contents of it in the iframe.
and we got a nice comment from Eric. He said that he also just realized the change of location for the debug view. Oh, thank you so much for your feedback. Also, that we're doing well. It's great to hear. Not so well as you can see right now. Just trying to figure things out, but
Okay. Well, that's how it sometimes goes. Unfortunately, we won't be able to make this work right now, but we were at the last step. So if you are flexible enough to actually then click on the track me button, it should show up there if everything works. That is like kind of my
oh dear.
prediction. So hopefully you now know how to do this implementation yourself. And yeah, we had obviously also a little form there as well that you could track as well, but yeah, we can't do anything anyway because Replit is down right now, so we won't be able to do that one as well. But anyways, I hope everybody learned something from it. Sophia, you learned something?
Yeah, it was amazing actually. Maybe we
Cool.
could summarize those steps one more time, what one
Yeah,
should
sure.
do. Just step one, step two, so that we
Yeah.
have everything.
So first of the first step is to find out if you have an iframe. That would be like the right click and so on. The second step would be to not use iframes. So if you find an iframe, maybe you find a way to not do the iframe thing, and and get a workaround. So implement it natively on your website, for example, and not use an iframe. If that's not a possibility, then the third thing you need to check is if you have access to the iframe itself. Can you install Google Tag Manager onto the iframe? If that's a yes, then you can utilize this iframe tracking technique. And the way that you do it then is to first of all set up your trigger. Your trigger will track your trigger inside of your iframe. Oh no, the first step is to create a Google Tag Manager container for your iframe that is separate. I would recommend that, although the other method would also work. And then you would install Google Tag Manager into the iframe. You would then create the trigger of the interaction that you want to track. And upon that triggering of that interaction, you want to send a post message API call, which you can do with the code provided that we showed you. So the code is sending a post message API call to the parent frame. You need to configure certain things, especially the URL that you want to send this to. And then you can switch over to the parent frame, the container of the parent frame in Google Tag Manager, and install the post message API listener that would then pick up this interaction, put it into the data layer. And off that data layer, you can create a trigger, variables, and send that data on to Google Analytics 4. So and then hopefully your website doesn't break like ours, and you will still be able to showcase this for everyone. So that's these are the steps. Oh, it is online for me. Can you try it out?
Oh,
Let's go back.
Oh, here. Just a second. But it was great
See.
summary. So just kind of, it's working.
But you need to be in the window where Google Tag Manager is in the assistant thing, tag assistant.
Yep. Give me a second.
This one, yeah.
It should be connected.
Right. So let's click on Track Me.
Awesome. What did he do? How did he make it
I don't
work?
know. Maybe people got off the website. And
oh, it's
we
here.
have an iFrame click, and then let's go to Google Analytics.
Maybe I'll have to refresh just in case because it was.
Yeah.
Hello. Then you debug view. So it's right here in the admin section.
And there we have our iFrame click. All right. And if you click on it, then you see our click text
parameter
as well.
it's here.
Yes. All right.
This is awesome.
By the way, you can see all of this data later in your report. I mean, for the click text, you would need to register it as a custom dimension.
Maybe we can show it quickly, just where to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not under configuration probably anymore. Click on it.
I don't know how to do it anymore. Oh, yes. Go to admin. It's funny that they have like, you go to configure and it tells you.
Yeah, it's right on the redirect right away. Yeah.
Oh, it's right here. Oh, so actually it's super comfortable, I would say. Like, you know, you go to admin and this is where you can find everything. So custom definitions, and I would have to register it right here.
Yeah, register a, what was it? Click text. Well, yeah.
Let me go back to Tag Manager, quickly double check my event parameter because it must be
iFrame click. No, click text. Yeah. So that's something you need to register so you can see it in your reports later as well.
So I can say here, like dimension name, you can provide any name. I will just copy it with an event description so you can write something for your team to show just so that they know what this dimension is about. And then you can wait for 24 hours for this parameter to show up here on the list, or you can simply copy paste if you want to write pre-register it kind of earlier, right? And then you would have to click save. And that's it.
And that is how you can then track your button click, at least in the form as well. All right, this brings us to the end of our little peer tracking as well. So we have driven to the destination, safe and sound with Sofiia. Thank you so much, Sofiia. Where can people find you online?
At Magic School or on LinkedIn. I'm also there, so you can see some of my tutorials on our YouTube channel, or you can also follow me on LinkedIn. I would be really happy to talk to you there.
All right. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching today. We are almost at 1 hour. This was fun again and a fruitful exercise, hopefully, for everybody who also struggling with tracking implementation. Now, the last thing to say, if you want to find out more about GA4, we actually have a event tracking video if you want to track more events right over here. And if you want to find out more about GA4, then also check out this playlist all around Google Analytics 4. Now, my name is Julian, as on behalf of Sofiia and me, thank you very much for watching, and till next time.